What is up, boys and girls of the internet? Mostly boys. I have seen the analytics, and as of me recording and editing this video, it is the day after Thanksgiving, so it is Black Friday, and happy spending. Hopefully, you're not spending too much. You're not really saving your money just because it's less and you think you can buy more, you're still spending a lot. But, hopefully, you already know that. And so I felt so heavy. I was really heavy. I was eating, of course, as you do on Thanksgiving. And when I'm telling you, when I ate, all right? The entire time I was there, I went to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving. And the entire time I was there, I was always eating something. Whether it be, everybody eating together, little snacks here and there. Before and after the meal, I was always eating something, bro, because the food was good. Now, is the food necessarily the best thing for you? No. But it's like a once in a year holiday. And so it's like, why not enjoy myself, with my family and whatnot. And, just let back, let loose a little bit and, feed the beast. Feed that gluttonous monster that I feel like I have pretty, well under control in general. But I had a very good time during my Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you guys did too. If any of you guys do celebrate Thanksgiving, and even if you don't, I just hope that you had a good time in general. Whatever holiday you might celebrate around this time, even if you don't celebrate anything, I'm just hoping that you're doing good as well. And so getting into the I guess what meat and potatoes of this video, I am doing 100 pull-ups. So I didn't do my usual routine for my pulling session, which is like L-sit pull-ups, arch pull-ups, and then like pelican curls and ring curls. This time I just did 100 pull-ups. I wasn't trying to do any special thing or whatever. At first, I was going to go and try and every time I got on the bar or on the rings, I was gonna try and do different types of pull up grips and whatnot. And then also, I was with the bar. It felt very harsh on my hands. It felt like it was digging into my hands each time I went. And again, I'm telling you, I was feeling heavy because, of course, as you do after Thanksgiving, you have leftovers. And so you eat the leftovers the next day. You might even eat the leftovers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I had the leftovers for my breakfast and my lunch. And so I felt heavy all throughout that. And just to kind of burn everything off, I did an hour on the treadmill. I was just kind of walking. I was running a little bit here and there. I was jogging. I had it on a 4 point incline or 4.5 incline here and there. Just kind of just sweat things out just to help even my bowel movement system, because I was kind of having trouble just having my body filter all the food out, because for whatever reason I wasn't pooping. I poop very often. I poop 2 to 3 times, or I'd say 1 to 3 times every day. And this is usually in the morning after I eat my first meal. But for whatever reason this time it just wasn't going. I wasn't running as I usually do. So I just wanted to try and get up and do some type of activity to help burn off all the food I've been eating for the past 2 days or day and a half now. And again, I didn't do my usual routine because I felt heavy. Now that might have you think well, if you felt heavy, then why did you do 100 pull-ups? Well, I can't necessarily tell you why exactly. Oh, there's my dad doing push-ups, by the way. He was working out at the same time as I was. I'm just kind of having, just showing you guys that. But back to the point. Well, I kind of just wanted to, I'd say, have a bit more fun. This was kind of enjoyable for me to do, just doing 100 pull-ups. At first, I was going to try and just rep it out, because I think my first set, I did about 11 pull-ups. And then after that, it was 7 and then 6. And then I was just all right, I'm just going to stick to 5. So I just did multiple sets of 5, here and there. I didn't track any rest time. I didn't track my rest time. But I know I wasn't resting for that long. I wasn't resting for like 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes. I wasn't resting for that long. And in between each set, I did push ups here and there. So I might have done like in total maybe 100 or so push ups. I'm not sure exactly. I wasn't counting the push ups. I was more worried about the amount of pull ups I was doing. And one thing with the grip, you'll see here the way I rotate my hands with the rings. I rotate my hands to a more neutral type of grip. I started to feel a bit of elbow irritation in my left elbow. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stick to neutral grip because when I would try and do chin up grip or when I would try and do the regular pull up grip, the irritation in my elbows started to bother me. So to avoid overuse, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stick to the rings. I'm gonna turn the rings to neutral. And again, that's one of the many benefits of working out with rings. Since you have that freedom of movement, you're not trapped in one plane of motion. So, therefore you can have like healthier joints and you'll be able to grow and be able to be supported in a more healthier environment when it comes to gymnastic rings. I also didn't worry about having the most perfect form here. As you'll see, it's not my usual pull-up form where I had like retract my shoulder blades and I have an arch back at the top and my chest is proud. I kind of just I guess in a way go easier because I knew that I wasn't as light as I usually feel. And, with those arch back pull ups, those are a lot harder than just these standard pull ups that I'm doing here. So I just really wanted to worry about getting up and getting my chin over my fist or my knuckles and just completing each rep. So yeah, just taking it a bit easier because of what it was that I was going through. And again, with me doing 100, it was in a way because sometimes I feel like my usual volume when I train, I feel like maybe that's equivalent to about 100 reps or so. Um, you know, Maybe it isn't. I'll find out in the morning if I'm like really sore in my arms and my back. Uh, but I'm not even gonna say nothing because I thought this was really fun. And after my workout, and my dad, he was still in the middle of his kind of, but him and I, we talked a bit about just kind of like health and just being in a healthier body. My dad was saying like for him, it's hard to kind of work out by himself because it's like you have to kind of motivate yourself. And I was telling him where that's not really an issue for me because this isn't something that requires motivation or discipline anymore. This is something that is the same as I'd say like brushing my teeth or eating food every day. You clean yourself and you eat and drink about every day, right? Because that's to sustain yourself. So I feel like exercise, that's what exercise is on the same level as that for me, right? Whenever I end up not working out for like let's say like maybe I missed 3 days or something like that, I feel like weird. I feel almost icky. When I started school back in September, I didn't have my schedule all planned out, so I didn't know how to fit everything. And I had to miss a couple of exercises. And when I wasn't exercising, it just felt so weird. It felt so weird. It like I just didn't feel right when I wasn't working out, right? So I make sure I make it a point to try and exercise, to any type of capacity whatsoever, every day, no matter what it is. I just try and fit that in no matter what. And again, me doing this with my channel helps me stay more accountable with my exercise because again, there are some days where it's like, I don't feel like working out, right? But I just have to get to it. And once I'm into it, I'm in the groove and I'm going and I'm enjoying it. But back to our conversation, he was telling me that with the whole exercise being something that I enjoy, something that isn't a problem for me to do consistently. He was also saying that when he was younger, it was the same thing for him, right? He would count the minutes, he would count the hours till the time he had to, do some running, do some lifting, things like that, because he really enjoyed it. And that kind of made me think, like, who knows, maybe that's where I get it from, right? He's kind of fell out of that habit, right? It's not a part of his lifestyle as much as it might be a part of mine. But I have to have gotten it from somewhere possibly. So for him, that's where he's kind of, he really enjoys exercise as well. He still works out. He works out maybe not daily, but he works out about every other day. He is getting older, so it might not be beneficial for him to try and work out every day, especially if like he practically took like 5 years off or 10 years off of working out because of all his other life responsibilities. Of course, he was raising my sister and I, taking care of like the house and my mother and whatnot. But we talked some more about other stuff as well, and just how like just being healthy just makes you feel better in general. Like your mental state is a lot better. And I'll definitely have to expand more on the topic of how exercise has improved my mental state in a later video. But that's about it. See you guys in the next video. Yeah. Peace out. Blah, 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 blah.